So thank you for attending this presentation over your lunch or early break, although we just have a break. So my name is Satterthwaite. I am part of the Microsoft Engineering Group. I've been at Microsoft over 11 years, and I'm really privileged, to be honest, to be seeing and hearing AI behind the scene at the, across our engineering groups, but also hearing directly from customers over 130 countries. So I'll be honest, I am an AI practitioner, but I don't use AI as the solution to everything, because there's key scenarios for when AI really works and when it doesn't. So I use it very intentionally and very carefully. I do use Copilot at work, but outside work, I'll be honest, I'm using Claude, I'm using Gemini, what else? Perplexity, which I love. So here you go. So I'm going to talk about the AI adoption successes and challenges. And to be honest with you, Dom and Rob have made my presentation super easy because they've covered most of the items I wanted to go through with you. So what I'd like to do today, if that's okay, is to have a very interactive session because, to be honest, I was meant to be here. I'm taking over from a colleague who couldn't make it today. And the reason I say yes is because I'd love to hear the feedback from you all. Right, so we know that you've heard it on the news, on LinkedIn, and all the social media that AI is failing, AI is working in really certain scenarios, and like I said, my own experience is really to hear from organizations how they take AI from experimentation to global scales. The reality, though, again, this is my observation by talking to different customers in different countries, is that when we talked about AI productivity, when you give AI a very described task and help you with your daily work, it really works. When we talk about general transformation, it's not really. And again, the conversation I'm going to talk you through might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm just sharing my observations, really. And again, too many customers and organizations that I have come across with kind of sprinkle AI over broken, businesses, processes, and the people, and it just doesn't work that way, to be honest with you. You cannot just automate your way out of the broken process, really. So the reason why we are seeing this Springer approach is because the investment in the tools outpace the investment in the strategy. So I don't know if you agree, but that's my observation. So to understand the pace of this shift, we have to look at the capital commitment. So alone, in 2025, Microsoft has spent over $80 billion in cloud and AI infrastructure. That's huge. In 2023, we spent $25 billion. So that's 4 times more than, in 24 months. I'm just going to pause here so we can reflect on it. So for us, we're not just looking at, the shift in technology. We are looking at, I guess, the largest capital reallocation of modern corporate history at Microsoft. That's a lot to sink in. And even, part of the engineering group, we feel really overwhelming of whatever is happening right now in the industry. So as a Microsoft employee, when you go to see customers, they expect you to know everything. And I'll be honest, I don't, right? I get the pressure that I am under, part of, launching products quicker, making things better, and sometimes we fail. That's just the truth. And now for those who use Microsoft products and services, you would have heard us say, we're going to go GA. Actually, we never do, because we know it's not going to work for everybody. And remember, our products don't just touch you, it touches the whole world, right? So we have to get it right. And the truth is, we do not always get it right. Before I carry on, I just want to shout out to all the ladies in the room. And the reason I'm saying that is because most of the time when I attend a conference, events, it's like 5 of us. So thank you, Dan. This is great to see, and thank you, ladies, for being here. So here's the catch. While Microsoft can spend $80 billion on the tooling, it doesn't always buy the results of the adoption. It's harsh, but that's the truth. So that brings us to the execution gap. I think Dan has kind of took you through that earlier. So AI adoption is no longer a technical hurdle because everybody has access to the same models, the same infrastructure, not the same skill set, not the same governance, as you've heard from Rob. So for us, it's really a leadership decision. Again, this might feel uncomfortable, but that's what we're seeing. So nowadays, AI access is a commodity, as we all know. I'm just pausing so you can reflect. So for us, the key and the true differentiator is not the access to AI. AI is out there. You know, we spend a lot of money to build data centers, to have the power, to have the infrastructure. So it's not the technology, it's not the capability, it's how we collectively use AI. So if you want to move from using AI to winning with AI rather, you have to stop looking at the software. You have to stop looking at the code and start looking at your execution at scale. I think Dan has taken us through this. I'm going to make it quite quick. But for me, if leadership and the operating model are key, what does a winning model actually look like? And it starts with the foundations. The data is very telling, right? So if you look at recent studies, 70% of the companies have adopted AI in some form, at least in one business function of one business unit. At Microsoft, we have no choice. It's AI everywhere. And so you can feel, I can definitely feel the pressure working for Microsoft. So I'm not sure about you, but it's overwhelming sometimes. So only 15% are seeing a significant impact or ROI. Do you wonder why? These leaders are not just using AI. They are scaling it, and very rapidly. But that's just 15% per the study. In reality, when I speak to customers, it's 1%. And again, it's 130 countries, maybe 5,000 customers in the last 2 years. It's funny because people ask me, why a sudden buzz on AI? Because remember, AI, artificial intelligence, existed since 1953. It's just the last 2 years, I'm like, wow, and even I was trying to catch up. And it's really, really difficult. So as you see, it's not about having the tools. We've noticed, we observe a consistent pattern that emerges. And they focus on the foundations before the accelerations. And I think I listed up there, but I'm not going to go through it very quickly, but clear business priorities. The leaders that I spoke to who are winning the AI race, it's not about doing everything at once. It's taking the time to get it aligned with what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to resolve, and test it out. The second one is the strong data, as Dan and Robert mentioned. You know, messy data is a very expensive liability. It's not an asset for you. The phased adoption, again, is very clear, not everything at once. AI is not the solution for all your problems, especially business ones, and we all know this. So it's down to leadership, really. Last but not least is the investment in human capital, the people. As I said before, Microsoft spends so much money on the platforms. How much do you spend on the platforms? Study said that, yeah, we build a great platform, great tools, and pennies on the people. And that's why learning, training, getting the key people joining the organization and overlaying that by the compliance is so important to be winning with AI instead of being left behind. Surprisingly, some of the customers I spoke to in other countries haven't even started AI because they just don't want to. And again, they might be right because AI is not the solution for their current problems. But what I do say to them is, please don't be left behind. Right? And for IC, for individual contributors, if you want to look for a job, the market is so tough right now, and the first thing you're going to get asked is, do you know anything about AI? And AI is such a vague word, right? You can define AI with anything and everything nowadays. I'm going to pause if you have any questions. Like I said, I'd like it to be more engaging and not me talking to you. It's nearly lunchtime. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Yes? You agree? Great. Any comments at all? People are nodding. That's great. OK, so now we talked about where AI adoption most often fails. So the hard truth, if we look at the hard truth of the current market, as I said earlier, up to 80% of projects never leave the pilot phase. 80% according to this study. I said to you before, when I speak with customers, it's 90+%. And that's the hard truth. So there's a name for that in the industry, and I'm sure most of you have heard it. I hope I'm going to pronounce it right because of my accent, but we call it the pilot purgatory. It means that it's not failing, but it's not succeeding either. It just stays in that phase. And it's such a financial drain for executives. So as an executive, as a C-level guy or girl, you cannot blame the technology. The tool is not smart enough. I don't think that's the case. I just told you, right? The models are there, the infrastructure is there, the investment is there. It's not the technology. Some companies are catching up with it, but the truth is, it's all down to the operating model. So postmortem shows that AI doesn't fail because, as I said, the tech is not smart enough. It failed because of predictable, preventable human factors. And you can read those there. And again, it might resonate with you, it might not. The first one I would pick out, though, is ownership, as Dan alluded earlier. If in the company, everyone is responsible for AI, no one is. It's like people come to me and say, my project is super urgent. Everything is urgent, nothing is urgent, because I cannot prioritize. Even when I use AI, I can't even prioritize. So what is it? Again, it's down to the operating model. The second one, which is very important as well, is really the data debt trap. As I said earlier, right? Messy data makes AI a very, very expensive liability, not an asset. And companies, smaller companies, unfortunately, see data governance, compliance as a chore, as a bottleneck, and actually isn't. So again, not sure whether that's going to resonate with some of you, but that's the harsh truth. And the third one, which I love, is called the frozen middle. What does that mean? It means that if we don't have top-down executive air cover, then middle management, like myself, would always go to the safest way of doing AI. And we could always prioritize all the things over AI innovations because we worry about our job. We don't know what's going to happen. We worry about our teammates. Last but not least, again, is about the people. Please do invest in your key talents. Actually, not just key talents. Everybody who works on the project, whoever works for you, deserve that recognition. And there's a lot of free learning certification out there that you can go and get. And you can have a day training. For example, at Microsoft Engineering Group, every Friday is a non-meeting day. It's very tough for our sellers because they want to go out and sell. But if you don't skill up, you're not going to be very credible in front of your customers. As I said before, the brand is a real pressure for us. Every time I go somewhere, could you fix my PC? Outlook is not working. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I'm not the help desk. Please call our help desk, right? And I know about the 3,068 services and products, but deep dive, I do not. So I cannot help. I have sellers come and help you. I have, our solution architects who can go and design things for you. That's just not my role. So for a woman in tech, it's very empowering to be able to say, I don't know. Let me get somebody who knows and fix it for you. To all the ladies in the room. So what does this mean for our leaders, for you? I guess my observation is always the same. We need to stop blaming the tech. The stack is not smart enough, the failures is not because of the lack of algorithms, none of that. So we need to shift, the conversation really needs to shift from the technology, what technology should be deployed, or even should I use the technology? Yes, you do, absolutely, if you want to win that war. That's because the real competitive advantage will not come from access to AI, as we know, because we all have access. It will come from how effectively your organization is putting it into practice. And let me tell you this. Success leaves clues. The companies winning the war today, because some companies call it the AI war, which might be true. So others are focusing on the foundations, as I said earlier, right? So the data, more importantly, the strategy, the data, and the people. So please consider the foundations, get everything right in place before hitting the gas on the accelerations. You want to do things right. You don't want to do things quick. And I know we feel pressurized because everybody is working on AI, everybody's got their project on AI, but AI, again, is not the solution to actually most of the project that I work with. It's down to the people and the process to start with. So, to wrap this up, let's leave the technology aside for a moment and focus on the one decision that will define your success. And this is the end of my presentation. If there's one thing or one call to action that I would leave you with, it is this. In your boardrooms, when you make a decision, if you're a CFO, CTO, stop asking whether you should adopt AI or even what technology can do for you and your company or for your customers. The technology is ready, it's there, it's waiting for you. Ask instead whether your company is set up to benefit from it. Strong AI leadership creates a real business advantage. So build the right foundations to ensure that advantage is yours. Thank you for your attention.